As of today, there are 8 days to go until Texas Fort Worth and the 18th edition of the CrossFit Games, seeking to find the fittest man, woman, and team on Earth. And with event 8 announced as an elimination clean ladder, we can expect to be wowed once again by some epic lifts. So what better way to whet our collective appetites than to consider some of the most epic lifts in CrossFit Games history. Now, these are not the heaviest lifts, nor are they a top 10 lifts. In fact, they're only lifts from the Madison era, but these are occasions when lifting got my heart racing the most. Perhaps you're new to CrossFit and these will be new to you, or perhaps you're a veteran of games spectating and this is the chance to get all nostalgic before the unknown of Fort Worth is thrust upon us. So, let's dive in. Now, without a doubt, the 2022 Sandbag Ladder was an epic event, chock full of exciting and memorable lifts. Dispensing with the usual max Olympic lift or max total formula, pure strength was tested in 2022 through a series of increasingly heavy sandbag lifts. All 40 male and female individual athletes got the opportunity to put on a show and make their way through progressively heavier sandbags, having to lift the bag from the floor to their shoulder and stabilize with only one hand on the bag. Once they could no longer lift a bag, they were out. And any and all ties were settled by a tie-break race to lift 3 sandbags over a bar before dashing to the finish line. The format proved lengthy, but it supplied 2 of the most epic lifting moments in games history. Firstly, there was the men's finish. Boz was shocked by the ability and number of male competitors who managed to lift the final bag, with Brent Fikowski, Guy Malheiros, Nick Matthews and Jason Hopper completing the ladder, but all failing to lift a hastily prepared extra bag, 340 pounds, 155 kilograms. And what that meant was that there was a 4-way tiebreaker, which unbelievably went all the way to the timing chips and a dead heat and sharing first place between Guy and Crop Top Nick. The performance to that point and the finish itself, for me, earns this whole event a spot on the list of most epic lifting moments. However, in that long and grueling event, there was one lift which stood out amongst all the others, and that was Jacqueline Dahlstrom. Not considered a strong athlete when comparing her max squats or deadlifts or what have you, but somehow came into her own when it came to manhandling that sandbag. She ended up finishing the event in 2nd place, but her final lift saw her cleaning over 1.5 times her body weight. It was truly shocking and without a doubt one of the single most epic lifts in CrossFit Games history. Jacqueline missed out on last year's games, but she's back this year. Here's to hoping that she provides us with another epic moment. Next up, we have CrossFit royalty. Queen Annie Thorisdottir herself, who has provided so many memorable moments over the years. She got her first muscle up at the CrossFit Games. She was the first person to win back-to-back games. She's had multiple podiums with 2 more silvers and 2 more bronze. And there's, of course, the not so wanting to be remembered memorable moment of passing out due to heat stroke during Murph in 2015. She is an utter legend in so many ways. But her most epic lift came in the 2021 Games and the Max Snatch event. Now this needs a little bit of context because less than a year before the 2021 Games, Annie had given birth to her first child, Freya. And she shocked everyone by making it straight back to the Games and performing better that year than she had in 2019 when she finished 11th. Now the big lift in 2021 was the 1 rep max snatch event, and with zero expectations, Annie took to the platform and just kept on knocking out lift after lift after lift. Her top lift, 200 pounds, was just 3 pounds off her lifetime best, and it shocked everyone. No one more than Annie herself. The look on her face when she finally landed that snatch explains enough why this is one of the most epic lifts in Games history. Again, looking at the 2021 Games, we were provided with an epic lift, but not in a max lift sort of format. It came in the form of a pair of running and clean events, imaginatively titled Events 6 and 7. Both events were a short-ish sprint distance between increasingly heavy weights on a clean ladder. And as the event unfolded, especially the second event, it seemed as if the time cap and the weights were a little off, with many of the competitors struggling to get to, let alone clean, that final barbell before time was called. But that all set us up for an as yet uncrowned Justin Medeiros to wow everyone with a superb clutch, clean at the death to fend off no less than Brent Fikowski and Pat Vellner, before beating the buzzer himself by 1 second. To my mind, that's an epic finish because of the nature in which he made it and the others missed, but because this was a massive contributing factor to Justin winning his first ever CrossFit Games. Epic. Next up, we return to the max lift format, and it's the 2023 Olympic total. Athletes had 2 attempts to post a maximum snatch and a maximum clean and jerk for a combined weight before the field was cut from 30 athletes at that point down to 20. Now, Jack Farlow had one eye on the top spot and one eye on fellow beefcake Branislaw Olenkowicz. And in his own words, Farlow realized that he was all but cut from the game, so he had nothing to lose. And boy, did he deliver one of the most spectacular double bounce squat cleans before earning the dub and being the only person to clean anywhere near 180 kilograms. It was class. We finish off my list of epic CrossFit Games lifts by going to Guy Malheiros, and it's, well, when it comes to Guy Malheiros, you stick a barbell in his hands and you have pure entertainment. But perhaps the best is what happened in 2022. The question mark is there. Would Guy have pushed Farlow in that 2023 event had he qualified? It's possible, it's probable, but we don't know. And we don't even really need to ask the question, what if? Because anytime there is a barbell in his hands, anytime he's invited to go heavy, we know that he's going to put on a show. At the 2022 CrossFit Games, the 2021 CrossFit Games, I beg your pardon, he burst onto the scene with 3 event wins. There was the 550-yard sprint, there was 1/2 of those run and clean events, and there was the 1 rep max snatch. Now, there were a number of things that made this lift more epic than any other. The first being, we didn't really know much about Guy up until this point. Only serious CrossFit stat nerds would have truly known what it was that we were about to witness, the true talent that this guy has when it comes to Olympic lifting. Moreover, it was that year that Noble had taken over sponsorship of the CrossFit Games, but Reebok had employed a clever marketing strategy of their own, inviting any and all athletes to wear their shoes, to get an event win, and to receive a special bonus. Now, Guy made the most of that by wearing them for all 3 of his event wins: the sprint, the run clean, and then spectacularly wearing them to earn himself victory in the 1 rep max snatch, snubbing the usual weightlifting shoe and winning in his nanos. But here's what truly made this lift so epic. It's just how pretty it is. We've become used to CrossFit athletes perhaps using an uglier version of the perfect technique to push the limits, but not Guy, not when he's Olympic lifting. As the event unfolded, each and every snatch looked exactly the same. Speed, stability, strength, he had the lot. And then the celebration at the end, I mean, we could have done without the dab, but it was 2021 and that already is a very different age, isn't it? Well, there you have it. These are 5 of my favorite, most epic lifting moments from the CrossFit Games at Madison. So what are your favorite lifts? Who are you excited for to lift heavy at Fort Worth? Who do you think it is that was going to win the clean ladder event 8 after the brutalization of Chad for event 7? Smash out some comments, give me some likes, share freely, and remember, if you're going to do any CrossFit between now and the games, to snap, crackle, and pop that top, especially if you're enjoying this summer heat. Peace.